Alright, July 8th, Inmate Letter number 22. Ethan, greetings. It's good to see that you have made great strides since getting out of prison and maintaining your freedom. Do not let the past events give you discouragement. I sat through numerous victim impact sessions. Some people coming in with stories and lessons like yours, and some being victims or relatives of victims. Of majority of these victims are siblings. They have said many of the same. They have said many the same of saying that it is a victim to have the perpetrators of crimes get out and not change our lives. You are representative of the minority of those who get out and change their life for the greater good. All victims respond differently. This is what we have to accept and understand, that it is something also that we cannot control. Forgive yourself, keep growing, God bless. Find a good woman, there is one out there. All these different, letters and cursive, and, some of these individuals aren't properly educated and have a hard time writing, and it's not their fault. Again, they're trying and doing what they can, and I blame myself for not being able to read. I got issues and problems with my brain. Like I've said many times, that even though I've got all these degrees and a master's degree, and I just started my doctoral program and stopped, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Microsoft Word and auto spell and auto check, because I can't spell for shit. I just can't. I have a hard time spelling my name sometimes. And it's crazy. It's getting worse. I don't know if it's because I'm getting lazier because I know Word or whatever program I'm using is gonna catch it. But it seems like my spelling's getting worse, especially with, I have a hard time with like EI, IE. I mix those a lot. So spelling there and there, But anyway, it says forgive yourself, keep growing, and God bless, find a good woman. There's one out there. I hate to say it. Don't ever depend on a relationship. Don't. I've been engaged once. That ended. I've been married, divorced. And in between that time, from engagement to the next woman, I went on roughly about 250 dates with women. None of them, 249 of them, none of them gave me anything. Nothing. Then I, get on the last one, and it ends up being my wife. Well, ex-wife. And getting married was one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my life. One of the worst. She was amazing and awesome, don't get me wrong about that. One of the most intelligent people I ever met. But I told her all the time she was a dream killer. And she destroyed, especially during the pandemic, especially that last half, just destroyed my dreams. And she I could tell superficially she was trying to be supportive, but I knew, past that first line of defense that she didn't give a shit. She always questioned what I was doing and why I was doing it and what's the purpose, and she didn't understand the business side of it. And I've been looking back, like, she ruined my life. Ruined my life and everything I was trying to do. And I say that because in 2018, I owned a home and was about to make a massive profit off of it. And then I met her and we got married, and then I sold that house and took less than what I should have, because it was supposed to be like our wedding gift, and then I turned that into buying a new house. And she ended up getting it in the divorce. Now we made an arrangement, and she held up her part of the agreement. But I just keep looking back to 2018, and I wasn't saying my life was perfect, but I knew what I was doing. I was confident in who I was and what I was trying to do and what I was trying to build. And then I met her, and everything changed. My family dynamics changed. I quit talking to my family. My brother and I quit being supportive of each other, and then he got married at the same time. So I say that because his marriage then destroyed our relationship and who we are. So I don't believe in relationships, period. I didn't before I got married, and I thought she changed my mind, and now it's even more so that I don't think relationships are smart at all. 53% end up in divorce anyway. And then you go and ask most of these men in this situation, and then you go and ask the women who are locked up. The vast majority of them got snitched on by their partner. They rolled on them. They ratted on them. Yeah, that's against criminal code and conduct or whatever. But the truth is, they never love you as much as they say they do. Because as soon as their back's in a corner, the truth comes out. And they will snitch on you. They will send you to prison. They don't care about your well-being. And then 2 years later, they're having relationships with your best friend and having kids with them. They don't care. You are a means to an end. That's all you are. And the sad part about it, especially in this world, is like everybody is in relationships because of money. I'd still be married if it wasn't for money. But that's how it ended, because of money. People got greedy, and individuals, she wanted something different, and I was doing something different, and it all came down to financial. Brass tacks, it came down to money. That's it. Like, I understand these NBA players. I do. Like, these women, they're only after you for your money. They are. They want to have a kid with you and have access to that capital. That's the reality of the situation. People don't get mad at women for chasing old men because they know they're trying to secure the bag. And nobody talks bad about that. They blame the men for all these situations. The reality is, these women, think about it. Their entire persona is a lie. They spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a month trying to deceive every single one of you by all the makeup they put on. The fat they inject in their bodies because they're trying to get a body, because they won't work hard enough to maintain that body and actually get it. So what do? They cheat and go get liposuction. They go get their lips injected. They get Botox, and then they get makeup to cover up who they are. So when you see them at night and they look all fine and hell and all that stuff, the next day you see them without makeup, it's a different person. Think about that. And that's what they present every single day. So what's going through their head behind the scenes that you can't see. Now, trust me, I'm not women hating. I'm just calling it like it is. You can tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Don't wear makeup and see how many relationships you get in. And then when you don't wear makeup, and it's because you are married, what's your sex life like? Probably dwindles because you're not the same person that man fell in love with because you look completely different. Oh, he's supposed to love me for my heart and my soul. As soon as he doesn't have a job, what do? You lose and leave him. 53% of marriages end in divorce, and if you look at the numbers, the vast majority of the relationships that end is because of financial issues. And the men never get the checks in the end. It's always the women who are getting alimony. Why do they get money for doing nothing? That doesn't make any sense to me. I had a chance because I made less money than my wife. I really had a chance to stick it to her. I could have flipped the script and made her pay me out. Like, I didn't because I have an ego and a pride factor. And because I think I know what my worth is compared to her. I'm 46 years old. Now again, this is going to say a lot about me. I've had over 155 roommates. Not one of them asked me how I was doing during my divorce. Not one. I've had roughly 85 college basketball teammates. Probably, about 20 college coaches. Not one ever asked me how I was doing. Not one ever asked me how my life was. None of them. Nobody cares who you are. Nobody. Your family, your friends, you will be a forgotten memory in 2 or 3 years. Now some maybe a little bit longer and lasting, okay? Not all. But the vast majority, you will be forgotten. Or a minor glimpse of a trail of a thought 5 years, 6 years, 10 years down the road. And I say that too because I've been through it. I've had 2 teammates die from drunk driving. And guess what? Everybody stopped drinking for the first month after those accidents. It slowly passed. Pretty soon, nobody even remembered who those individuals were, and yet they're trying to hang their jerseys or get things done. And maybe 4 or 5 people out of that entire friend group that knew that individual actually remember and think about who he was and what he was doing or what they were doing. Years later, nobody cares. I know I'm a forgotten memory. I'm an afterthought to people. I am. And it sucks, the older and older you get, you realize, like, nobody fucking matters. Nobody. Nobody matters. The only person that matters is you. That's it. Your wife, your husband, your best friend, they don't matter. Because they will remarry and they will move on. They will forget you. You'll be a distant thought. Even if they get you tattooed on their body, they will forget you 5-10 years down the road, and it will be an afterthought. You don't matter. You don't matter to anybody. You won't leave a legacy. You won't leave an empire. You will be forgotten. So stop making choices and decisions for other people and start making choices for yourself. I'm sorry if that is hard and that is not what you want to hear, but that is the true reality of the life we live. I regret making decisions to try to better my wife and my relationship, because those choices and decisions stopped some of my momentum of where I was going or what I was doing. I was trying to do this really cool, amazing tour in 2018, and then I got married and I put it on the back burner. And for the last year, I've been trying to get it up and running like where I was, and I'm about a year and a half into trying to get it going, and I don't have as much momentum as I had back in 2018. Same concept. I'm even a better speaker. I'm 100 times better at what I do. Got awards and books and interviews and CNN and headline news, all that type of stuff, and I still can't get the momentum I had all the way back in 2018. I made conscious choices at the time that I thought were going to better what was supposed to be a marriage and a partnership. That failed. The pandemic had a big piece of it. That put strain on anybody's relationship, especially one that just started basically at the beginning of the pandemic. But I would never put that's my advice. Don't depend on other people. Business partners. Your business partner is going to flip on you at some point. Just look at the data. Look at the businesses. There are a few storybook endings and a few storybook situations where people have long-lasting careers and they built something together. The vast majority don't. They end up in lawsuits and litigation and people hating each other and stealing each other's houses and assets, becoming vengeful and resentful when you both started with the same idea and concept to grow something. That's why I've been struggling so hard, because I've had people that wanted to partner up, but they want equity in my company. I won't do it. And it's made my job 1,000 times harder. But that's because I foresee the future. I'm not going to have somebody squash my dreams because they gave me money in the beginning. Just not gonna do it. Even if I'm broke as hell, I'm not gonna give up equity, because I know 5 years down the road I'm gonna lose all of it. I've had 5 family members that I know in my circle who've all lost companies because of relationships. They started businesses together and the other person turned on them. So I didn't get much from this guy's letter, other than the fact that, talking about finding a good woman, man, I think that can fuck you up. I know it fucked me up, took me off my path. And I was conscious and I made all the choices after we got married, and I don't blame her for that, but I blame her for being who she is and what ended up transpiring later. I wish I would have never met her. Hands down, my life was completely different. I wish I would have never got married. It was one of the worst decisions I could have ever made. And if you actually talk to financial advisors, every financial advisor, well, not everyone, but most of them will tell you that a divorce is like the worst financial thing that you can do. I know my parents, Shit, the only reason they're together is because they know that a divorce will tear up everything that they have. It's the only reason they're together. Because they would lose all their assets. And then you throw in court and appearances and anything that they have for retirement, gonna be wrapped up paying attorneys. Now, I will say my ex-wife and I had a mutual, amicable divorce, and it got handled without attorneys. But she tried, especially on the first negotiation, she tried to screw me. I mean, she did screw me, but. So don't put your faith in other people. The only person you have faith in is you. Nobody's going to believe in your vision. Nobody's going to believe in your business. Nobody's going to believe in your goals and your ambition except for yourself. Everything else is just a fly on the wall and somebody who's there to buy a ticket to watch what's going to happen. And most of the time they want to buy a ticket to watch you fail. That fucking sucks. But that's the reality of the situation. They want to see you fail. Nobody wants to see you succeed. It's crazy.